George Changes His Tune. Story by John Bowling. Illustrations by Dawn Hoffman. This is George. George is 6. George likes to sing. He likes to sing so much, he sings every chance he gets. In the car, in the living room, at the dinner table, and especially in the bathtub. But even though George is a very good singer, people cover their ears with their hands whenever he sings. That's because George only sings one song. That's right. Whenever George sings, it's "My bed's on my head." Always. Never any other song. Even at sing-alongs, George always waits until all the songs are done, and then he sings, "My bed's on my head." Oh, my bed's on my head, and I'm feeling kinda red. Can I have a piece of bread, please? One night after being serenaded, George's mother said, "When will you ever learn to sing another song?" "As soon as I hear one that's better," said George. So George's dad tried "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." But George didn't like baseball very much. George's sister Annie tried the Hokey Pokey, but George wasn't in the mood for dancing. Aunt Catherine even tried some Mozart. She sang "Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star," and George sat straight up and listened, but he didn't sing it. Then Ira, George's brother, had an idea. "What makes you think that song you sing is better than all the others?" he asked George. "Why is my bed's on my head so great?" "Because I made it up," said George, and he stood up with a great big grin on his face and sang, "Oh, my bed's on my head, and I'm feeling kind of red. Can I have a piece of bread, please?" That night, after George had gone to sleep, there was a family conference. Ira told everyone about his plan to get George to stop singing that silly bed song. The family decided to give it a try, starting the very next day. At 3 o'clock, Ira was practicing the piano. He called George over. He said, "George, I'm really tired of playing. I'd like to sing this music instead, but there aren't any words on this music. Do you think you could make some up for me?" At first, George just tried to fit "My bed's on my head" into all the notes, but that didn't work. He asked Ira if he could have a recording of the music to play over and over so he could figure out some good words. Ira smiled a slow smile. "Sure," he said, "I'll have it for you in an hour." Well, that hour was very long for George. He kept trying to think of new words, but he just couldn't. When Ira gave him the tape, he listened and listened and listened. Nobody saw George for quite a while. He was very quiet at dinner, and after dessert, he went right back to his room. Everyone wondered if Ira's plan was working. At bedtime, George asked the family, "May I please sing a song for you?" "Oh, no," they all thought, expecting the bed song again. But then Mom said, "Of course, George, go ahead." So George took a deep breath, moved his feet a little bit apart, and sang. "I like my socks, I like my rocks, I like my curtains too. I like my nose, I like my toes, but mostly I like you." Nobody said a word. George was standing very still, grinning from ear to ear. "Yahoo!" everyone cheered. "Way to go, George! That's the best song in the whole world." "I know," said George. "I made it up." Then, with a puzzled look, he asked, "Do you think I should make up some more?" Everyone agreed he should.